website.
Oh, they are.
But they're hidden a bit, I'm afraid, but they are there.
So this is the cove.
Oh, I see, yes. Well, I can see that immediately the thing that caught your attention was the quality of the light and the shape. I like that. I think that works quite nicely. We haven't probably attempted, I think, to get any detail in the shadow. You've decided to have that as a silhouette, but of course it becomes a bit blocked out then. Maybe the trick would have been just to have a little bit more detail in the areas at the side. Of course, the main point of interest is where the light is coming from, I guess. I like the shape of the cloud there as well. I think that works quite well. It's an interesting image in that there are even a couple of boats shooting across the bay there, which is interesting. Again, helps add a little bit of extra interest to it. I don't know. It's a very simple image in many ways. There's no harm in that. I just wonder whether it needed another slightly stronger point of interest. There is an awful lot of very dark area in it. Okay, thank you. I'll mark them all at the end. I'll just talk them through.
This is Old Hut on Waterford Spit.
I think the thing that lifts this one, of course, is the quality of the light and the direction of the light. We've got low light coming through on the side of the building and on the grass in the foreground, that is the main feature, obviously, of the shot again, and that's the thing, I guess, that caught your attention when you photographed it. You saw the light and you liked the feel of it, and I think you've captured that quite well. Sometimes I wonder how large one needs to make a picture of this kind, and whether if you wanted the viewer to look in more closely and not to stand quite so far back from the picture, if you make a slightly smaller image, in fact you can make them very small if you really want to, whether that would work. But this, I mean, is sort of a wall-sized picture, isn't it? It's going to you'll be captured by it from quite a distance away. I'm not sure whether I wondered whether it perhaps needed a person in it, but no, this is maybe sufficient with the light, quality of the light. I'm not sure how long images of this sort hold the attention, but I think as I say, the lighting on it does help a lot. You can imagine on a dull day or without any light, it would not be as interesting at all. Okay, thank you.
This is Windy, Cold and Desolate.
Again, another image where you've concentrated on the quality of the light coming through. The sun, though, I think is very strong in this for my liking. I think it's so dominating in the image space, but I do like the feel on the waves, and I think that as we've got a little end of groin marker or something here, and also the suspicion. Let me get a little bit of even a possible island there, and I just wonder what you really were wanting to convey, because within this picture, for me, there are some other interesting little bits and pieces, like this area around this sign and the island. That's quite interesting, and I know it's too small to enlarge it and make a print from it that would be sufficiently large to view, I think. But there are some interesting little bits and pieces going on there that I think hopefully you might have used a long lens on if you have one, and just captured a little bit of it. But for me, the sun is so strong that it rather dominates a little bit too much, I think, which is unfortunate. I do enjoy the colours though, I like that. I like the feel of it. But as I say, they're within the picture. I'm sure in the scene there were other pictures to be had. Thank you.
This is a ringed plover.
The natural history pictures these days tend to have to be well detailed, and ideally, I guess, there should be some action going on. People tend to like a little bit of a story in their pictures, in the natural history. That's not to say that we shouldn't do record shots of this kind, but the story side of things, you need three things, of course, for a story. So I learnt from a talk that I listened to the other day on Zoom. You need a scene, somewhere to put your subject. You need a subject, and then ideally you need the subject doing something, and then you've got a story you can make from that. I don't know, you might not agree with that concept, but it seemed interesting to me. This one, I think is a bit unfortunate that the plover is sitting very much in the long grass, and I have a feeling the grass is even detracting from the quality of the detail in some of the highlight area there, and it may not be, but it's certainly it isn't as sharp and detailed as we might like it as a record shot. It's nicely positioned in the picture space, so I do like the out of focus background. I think that works quite well. Some people prefer a little bit more information to show location, but I don't mind too much. I'm quite happy with a blurred out of focus background. But I do think maybe the grass which was in the foreground is softening the image just a little bit too much, which is what a pity, I guess. But I do like the lighting. I think the lighting's good on it, and that's fine. And there is a catch light in the eye. Whether it was there originally or you've added it in post-processing, we don't have to ask. Okay, let's see the next one, please.
So this is Buddhist hands.
Well, I think you've captured the feel here of the hands, the clasped hands, and I think the way the habit, isn't it, is falling is quite pleasing. The overall feel of the picture is good. It's an interesting image to have. I wonder whether it works well enough as a competition picture, whether it really is an image which should be in a series of pictures perhaps. But I do like it. I think the angle is good. I like the way the hand comes in from this top corner here, and the other hand is a suggestion it's coming across this way, which is good. Just have some very pleasing folds in the cloth there, I think, which is good. And I like the lighting here on this area and here. I think that brings out the texture and the quality nicely, and the also the moulding or modelling of the hands is reasonably good in all of that. So I think that works quite nicely as a record of telling a little bit of a story, I guess, about this monk. I think that works well in that sense as well. So I quite enjoy that. I think it works quite happily as a composition. Again, with any of our pictures, I guess, that we depend upon good lighting and having, when we're there taking the picture, spotting the light, the quality of the light, and that's what's happened in this case. Thank you.
This is Knowlton Eye.
Again, we've got some very pleasing light coming through here, and whether, I'm not quite sure, I suppose it's all reasonably natural but I'm slightly suspicious of the lighting, in that we've got some streaks in it, which I'm not sure whether they would be there or not. But I like the shape here. I think that works quite well, of the Milky Way across the top. I mean, this is a spot where if you go at the right time of night on a good evening, you'll be fighting off a crowd of other photographers. It gets very busy at Knowlton Church, and it's quite pleasant, actually. I mean, there's lots of good advice there. If you go along and not quite sure what you're doing and how to do this, there'll certainly be someone who can help. I've been there a couple of evenings. I can't say I've got any pictures I'd ever show anyone, but quite honestly, it's an interesting place to go for. Take something to drink, and hot drink or whatever you do, and there is, as I say, often a good crowd there. I think one of the things about these kind of image, ideally, I think we still want to have a bit of detail in the foreground, and we have just a suspicion of the shape of the earthworks there, but I think we needed to bring that out. And I don't know what software you're using for post-processing, but I should imagine that some of the detail could be brought up in Photoshop or Lightroom with the shadow control, just to get just a tiny bit more information in the foreground. I like the quality of light around the church. I like the modelling on the church. I think that works quite well. But again, I'm not so sure about the foreground. And again, we have a horizon right across the middle. Not always the right thing to do, but it's worth it. If the interest is here in the foreground, then that would perhaps allow you to have the horizon where you've got it. But I think you do have to bring up a little bit more information in the foreground to help balance where the horizon is. Thank you.
This is morning mist up by here.
Another image which is being printed very softly, in fact, and I just wondered, perhaps, I like the question really is, again with this one, in my mind, where was the image, the picture you wanted? We've got an awful lot here, which is, I don't think, adding a great deal. We've got some lovely clouds here, and then we've got the boats and some interesting quality of light almost coming through on the water, which I think is quite interesting. So I would wonder whether perhaps we don't need the top, and we could make a smaller image focusing in on the boats. But that's your choice, and you obviously feel that you need the top there to balance it up. I perhaps would have experimented with a different crop to see whether that would improve things. There's some interesting light coming through again here. Whether we've made the most of it, I'm not sure. And then in the distance, there are some trees on the hills and in this area here, which gives a little bit more of a sense of place to the whole thing, I think. But again, they do recede very much into the background. Yeah, I think perhaps one could have printed it with a little bit more contrast to bring out the shapes of the boats, and I wondered about the crop. Thank you.
Okay, this is extraction.
Well, I don't suppose you'd expect him to be looking too happy with an extraction going on. Staring at the camera, I guess this has been set up. Interesting with all the information, global dental relief. Not sure about the actual quality of light. not sure that that skin tone is right, but if that's how you've produced it, then presumably you're happy with it, that colour. But I just wonder whether that skin tone is correct. The background is quite important in any picture, but particularly where we want the attention, as in a portrait of this sort, to be on the face. And my eye goes immediately to this very, very light highlight here. And I think it's a pity that that is there. I don't know whether it's what it is. I can't tell whether it's a person or another person or what it, but it is distracting. I also find these bits around the edge. The edges of pictures are quite important, and we need to sort of be looking around the edge as much sometimes as at the main subject to see what's going on and what is actually going to take our attention away, as a viewer, away from the main subject. And here we've got some bits and pieces which would be so easy to remove. I think that might improve the overall impact of the image. Thank you.
This is Curlew at Dawn.
Well, here we've got all the detail we would hope for in the bird, and we've got a good reflection as well in the water, which balances up, makes a more interesting shot than if we just have the curlew without this reflection. So I think that's good. Quite like the colour palette of this one. I think it works quite nicely. The quality is all there as we would hope for. As I say, the detail is there. It's not been over sharpened. Just really quick. No signs of any over sharpening on it. So it's been very nicely produced and printed, and I do enjoy that one. Simple, but made by the fact that we've captured the reflection as well, which I think adds interest to the shot. Thank you.
This is sunrise at Diamond Beach, Iceland.
Well, I like the quality of the light through the ice there. I think that works very well, and really that's what the image is about for me. I think just the lump of ice there, the quality of light on it or through it, and the waves around it. I think it's a pity that the sky is burnt out slightly with the highlight through there. Whether something could have been done about that, I'm not sure. But perhaps it could, perhaps it couldn't. But it's a pity that that's quite so burnt out. But I do like the feel of that. I think that works quite nicely. It's a record shot, really. It doesn't sort of hold my attention that long, but it's a good shot to have as a reminder of the place, of a record of having been there. And it does have that feeling of quality of light on it, I think, which makes it interesting to look at. We're just looking to see whether it's no signs of serious over-processing on it, so that's fine. But sometimes I think with our images, whichever ones we're looking at, sometimes it's the detail which causes us the most problem to get right. And I think in this one and some of the others, perhaps the post-processing and controlling the highlights and the quality of some areas of the picture we could work on a little bit more maybe, and would improve things. Okay, thank you.
This is sunset on Muddyford Quay.
Well, was that Muddyford?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought I recognised it. Never been there, of course, but again, I think you've worked quite hard to try and produce an interesting image here. I like the texture in the lobster pot, I guess it is. That's quite interesting there. This starburst is all really what you were trying to convey, I think, to get the sun there. But for me, I would almost have preferred it without it, because I find this all very interesting. Again, the overall print quality here, I think, again, the sky needs perhaps a little bit less exposure, or toning down just a bit in the printing. I know the sun's coming through from that direction. Also, I'm not sure, but this area of the picture on the left there is very very soft, so you struggle with the depth of field. Maybe you intended that to be the case and you didn't want much detail, but this is rather busy there. For me, the interest of this picture is in this texture, in the netting and the shape of the pot there. I'm not sure about the strength of the sun in it, but sometimes I know you've enjoyed going out when the sun is in the sky and giving you a strong image that way. Sometimes some of these pictures, particularly this kind of thing, might be really good on a dull, wet day, and a bit of strong post-processing might just lift it enough to make it interesting. But your choice is to have the sun in it, so that's fine. It does, of course, give us a highlight there, which we almost didn't need, really. And as I say, I think perhaps you needed to print the sky in just a little bit more. Thank you.
This is a little turn.
Well, I like the lighting on this. I think you've got some very pleasant lighting coming through. Just have a quick look. See. Yeah, there's no problem with the sharpening on it. I think just perhaps it's a little bit soft in the white area here, but I do like the action. I think you've caught the action quite well there, and I like the general feel of it in the picture space. Sometimes I think we crop in too tightly, or we perhaps don't allow enough space around the image, but I think this one's about right. I think you've just got the cropping about right for that. I don't think it needed any more space. It's heading downwards, I guess, or looking down. So we need the space underneath for it to look into, and that's what you've given us. I do like the lighting on this. I think it works very nicely, and I enjoy that one for that reason. But a bit more detail, I think, in the white of the breast would be perhaps good. Okay, thank you.
This is Dalston Globe.
Well, here we have another shot with the Milky Way, I think, coming in. The subject, the title of the image is the globe, which is here, and which is not perhaps to be part of the title, again, not quite strong enough. So I think once more, as with the image of Norton Church we were looking at just now, maybe some work needs to be done on how to bring up the foreground and to get some slight more detail in there to tell the story. I like this shape is good, but the lights in the background don't bother me too much. But I do want to see, I think, a little bit more detail and quality in the dome itself. I don't mind it being central in the picture central in this sense of the picture, in the fact that we've got the arc of the Milky Way coming over the top like that. I think that's fine. So you've obviously been spending many hours to do this, whoever's taking them, but the problem is when you've got the result, you've sometimes got to think a bit more about the processing. It's just about there under these lights, but without the light on it, it's not that good. I don't know whether you're actually using Photoshop or Lightroom, but the exposure and other adjustments there really are amazingly good these days for bringing up the detail in shadows and everything else. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to read this one. This is Maisie K, Bike 15, Thruxton, BSB 2025. A snappy title there.
Well, I think it's certainly it's caught the action. I think we've got the bike on the bend. It's reasonably sharp. You've made it quite a large image, which is quite a challenge. The detail is sufficient, I think, in the numbers and the writing. It's ambitious to expect us to be able to see the face of the rider through the mask, so I don't think we mind if not seeing it. There's only one slight problem with it, and I think the highlight's gone a bit on the top of the helmet. Maybe that could have been brought back a bit, but it's a good action shot. You've got just about enough room for him coming in. It's been panned, I think, and that's given you the feeling of speed, as well as, of course, having the bike leaning. So I think as an action record of this bike in a race, I think it's captured it quite well. You do necessarily have to have some space for it to move into, and you've done that. And I think that's pretty good. Sometimes these days, to make a bit more interest, we find a second rider sort of competing, and that helps tell a story. But I guess that's probably not that easy to do. So I do quite enjoy that. I think as a technical exercise and as a record of this action, it works well. Thank you.
This is Stormy Sunset, Boscastle.
In this one, I think of all the ones that we've got with the sun in them, you've controlled the sun far better, or been fortunate in the sun, and I think it does work well in that it comes through onto the rocks here, across through the entrance to the harbour, and I think that all works very nicely. You've just about controlled the exposure in the printing or in the taking, so that we've got some detail in the rocks, and I think that's working well. I love the light coming through there. I think for me the picture is almost just in here, but you've chosen to give us a little bit more to set the scene, and that's fair enough. These days, I'm afraid we've got a set of L's, I expect you all have, and we use them a lot. We crop more than we used to. And the way we crop is to try to ask the question, well, why on earth did I take this? What interested me when I was standing there pressing the button? And then crop the image if necessary to really focus in on the main subject that you were photographing. Sometimes we need to do that. I'm not suggesting with this one you do, but sometimes it does help just to think, well, what happens if I lose the edges? Now, I'm not suggesting you should, but it can focus in on the main action in the picture. Thank you. I enjoy that one. Thank you. It's very nice.
That's the last one.
That's the last one. Righto, I've got to...
It's decision time.
Do you want to just put some lights on and we'll do a bit of marking? Right. Oh, gosh. Well, I think let's have some of these. I enjoy this one. I think that works well. I'm probably going to start in completely the wrong order. Put it there. Yeah. I think that's a nice, very competent study, I think, and it's been composed very, very well. So I'm going to start I'm starting the wrong order. I'll start with the gold. So we'll have a gold for that one.
Okay.
And the harbour I was looking at a moment ago. Can we put that one up again as well?
Yeah. Go with that. That one's me. Sorry.
I can go very slowly to give you a chance to.
Which one did you want?
Boscastle.
That
This
one.
is on the end. Yes, I enjoy this one. I think this has been well produced. I like the light. I think the sun has been well controlled in this. So that's going to be another gold, please.
Sorry, that's me again.
Gonna go for the hat trick.
I don't think so, somehow.
I'm not giving them all to the same.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
the risk, isn't it? Well, never mind. Where else should we go? Yeah, I'm going to have this as my nature choice.
Yeah.
That's a gold as well for the nature.
Okay, that's Steve, I think, isn't it? Steve Robsdale.
And I'm going to add one more gold for that one. Good quality record of the
That's
cyclist.
Bob, I think. Well done, Bob. Just back up here.
I'm not quite sure. I want a silver for this one, please.
So this is a silver. That is Steve again.
And a silver. All right? Are we? I don't go too quickly for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
And another silver for this, please.
Yep. That's Bob Oldfield. Well done, Bob.
And let's see. I think I'm going to now go down to a bronze for this one. I think it needed the background could have been tidied up and would have been a good idea. And
That was me.
I'll also give a bronze for that. I think I'll stop at that point, perhaps.
Yep. And the bronze for that one, just Trevor. There we go. That's it, yeah?
Right.
Okay, well, thank you very much.